Okay, hello, Elegant Marketplace audience. I am here today with Mike Hawkins, who I met because I was a client of his product, which is called Riddle. And I came upon Riddle after lots of false starts looking for a quiz generator for one of my clients. And I believe it was Colleen Conger who said, oh, you got to check out Riddle. And it was very intuitive. It's a premium product, which to me is great because it means something like support. And I kept doing the online chat with questions. And as somebody who gets a lot of questions, I try to be calm and clear when I'm asking, but I'm always asking because I'm frustrated or stuck. And Mike was so responsive and awesome, and I'm getting on a plane, but do this, or I'm flying here, or all right, let me just stick with you. And so I said, you know what, you've got to meet my community because you guys are awesome, and we're always looking for ways to make websites more engaging and lead generation in different ways, and I think that Riddle's a great product. So that was kind of a long lead in, but Mike, give us a little bit about you and Riddle.
Well, thank you very much, Eileen. I'm not sure if this picks up in the video, but I'm blushing. But no, I really appreciate the kind words. Yeah, so well, it's kind of funny. I mean, first off, I think I'm going to start off with our customer service attitude. We're a small team, and Riddle has been around for about 3 years. We've been in the quiz making business for about, I think, 12 years with different companies. But we started Riddle essentially to help agencies, creative types, web publishers, just create their own branded quizzes and other types of content for their website without a coder that you can just really quickly put on your website, engage your audience, and then most importantly, collect emails and segment each person based on how they respond. So if a user responded a certain way, you're like, oh, this is a hot customer, I'm going to put them in this list. Or someone who responds a different way, they might go into a different mailing list. The idea is that you can send personalized messages based on the quiz results. So that's the long and short of it. But essentially, we're huge on customer service because we know how annoying it is to not get quick answers. And oftentimes agencies have tight deadlines. And so we know you guys need really quick responses. In terms of location, we're based out in Europe. I'm an American, as you can tell from the accent, but I live in rainy Manchester, and the rest of our team is in Germany.
Okay, all right. So you guys really do work around the clock because my client was in California, and I'm on the East Coast, and I had some, I don't know, I don't think I got to some of my questions, but anyway, you guys are totally awesome, and I don't want to make it sound like that Riddle was the problem. I was doing lots of different integrations with MailChimp for my client, and we had lots of different things sort of going on. So it was really me and can we do this type of integration? It wasn't that I found the interface difficult. So tell us a little bit about who some of your clients are, who's making riddles or quizzes, what are they using them for?
Yeah, no problem. And actually, just as another thing, we are online all the time pretty much, as long as we're not sleeping. We actually have an internal beer bet every week. So essentially, the person who answers the most support tickets from our CEO on down gets a beer, which is not very much, but the pride is important and bragging rights. So yeah.
It's better than wearing a TFL t-shirt for coming in last in the golf. It's what, like the yellow jersey or something for the.
Yes. Yeah. But no, in terms of our customers, we work with a huge range. I mean, basically, our product plans are designed for individual entrepreneurs to small companies and agencies to big publishers, and it just kind of depends on what features you want the most. But on the larger end, we work with the BBC, sports teams like Manchester City, the Chicago Bulls, Macy's. Just lots and lots of folks on that side of it. We also work with a lot of creative agencies like Eden Frost, and then a lot of individual entrepreneurs who use our quizzes and other types to qualify leads and then find out if that person needs a follow-up. So they might be like an online therapist So they'll have a 10-question quiz, and they say, okay. And at the end, based on the results, they may say, hey, you're in great health, good on you. Or it sounds like you could use an in-depth consultation, give your details. So they use it as a qualification mechanism. So yes, it's all a range across the board, and that keeps the job interesting.
Yeah, I bet. So if somebody has a quiz on their site, what is like the average, maybe time spent? I would imagine that helps you keep people on your site longer. Are there any sort of stats around that?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So quizzes are great for an engagement mechanism, because there's a statistic which I can't quote off the top of my head, but basically, as soon as you get someone clicking on your website, it could be a poll, leaving a comment, anything involving them actually doing something and going from passive to active, it's proven the person's going to stay, considerably longer on your site because they're now emotionally engaged. Quizzes are brilliant for that because, they say, oh, I want to answer these questions. And so they start clicking and they start answering questions. And especially if you write a really good quiz, your quiz will almost tell them something they didn't know. And they're like, wow, this site knows something. So again, that kind of feeds that whole information loop. So on average, we recommend an 8 to 10 question quiz. Polls are very, maybe 30 seconds, but our quizzes average about 3 minutes-ish per person. So that boosts your time on site. The other thing about it, it also improves your SEO metrics, because the longer people stay and the fewer people who leave. So if they find a quiz and, wow, this is really good, SEO rate, Google rewards you for saying this is a quality site.
Right. So what's I know you don't want to say favorites because I'm sure it would be me, but what are some of the things where you said, oh my gosh, this is so clever? Like any kind of quizzes out there? I know I saw one that you had with the Bulls that was really, I failed, but I took it anyway. And because I just got right in with all the pictures and whatever. So what are some of the more interesting ones that you've seen come out of your clients?
Oh my goodness. Well, actually, the BBC just did a really cool one, which is called an interactive story. So it's our newest type of quiz. And actually, marketing types like yourself asked us for it. Basically, so our most standard quizzes will show the same set of questions, and then at the end, give results. So either you got 7 correct out of 10, or on a personality test, based on your 10 answers, you are this type. However, the interactive story is actually a branching narrative. So it basically branches based on how people respond. So you can ask a question like, hey, first off, are you a boy or a girl, or a guy, or, and then ask different questions based on that. So the BBC, their sports division is massive, and they love Wimbledon. And so Wimbledon is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, being covered. It's been around longer than that. So the BBC said, hey, we've been covering this for 50 years. So they created do you know the Wimbledon very well? And they use video clips from their Wimbledon coverage. So question 1 would be, hey, in this situation, you show a little video clip of someone playing, and then say, okay, what do? Do you hit a baseline winner? Do you go for a drop shot? And then you make your choice. And if you got it right, the conditional logic moves you on to the next round. And if you keep answering these video clips, then it goes from Jimmy Connors to Bjorn Borg to Serena Williams, and just uses these clips. And only if you really know your stuff, you get to the very, very end. And that was really successful. And I thought that was super clever. Those are quizzes. But then actually just something simple was Manchester City. They are a professional football club, massive in the world, and they had a charity sweater competition where they wanted their fans to vote for. It's an ugly sweater competition. And I think, and they were pretty ugly. So yeah, they had version 1 and version 2, and they had some of their stars and managers modeling each of them. And they essentially asked their community, which one do you like best? And they just used a simple poll, but it came across really nice. It looked really slick. And they also had an entry form where someone who voted got to present the winning team with a trophy and a jumper and things like that. So they got to go to the stadium. And so it was cool engagement. It was easy to make. And then they built up their email list. with a simple contest.
Oh my gosh, that is, my wheels are spinning. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I do this all the time to people. I call it the drive-by, where
Oh,
I know. I ask stuff that well, all of this we haven't really talked before we jumped on the call, but could you show us how sort of easy it is to put together?
sure.
Okay, so I did give Mike an idea that maybe like making a quiz for Elegant Marketplace, where we would say, are you a Divi user? Are you an Elementor user? And then, we didn't go deep, but how, as a web designer, you could even say to your clients, or we, Elegant Marketplace, could say to you, here are, like, do you want a big hero image? Do you want a video? And then present you with theme options. So as a web designer, you could have something like that for your clients, in addition to running the ugly sweater competition, which in the show notes, I'm going to put me in an ugly sweater because, of course, I have ugly one. It's a big source of pride.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? I know. So any chance we could get you to share your screen and show us some stuff?
Essentially, so Riddle is super easy. And actually, I'll do one more thing real quick. I was checking out Elegant Marketplace. You can see I was doing a bit of scoping out. So this is basically what we are. Move this little screen around. So essentially, when you start it with Riddle, you've got all these different types of Riddle options. And you got everything from quizzes to polls to personality tests. Our mechanism, as Eileen kindly pointed out, is pretty intuitive. And if you can use one, they all look and feel about the same in the creation process. So we don't need to go through all of them. So basically just showing one will be fine. One thing I did want to mention though, and this is just kind of good things to know about quizzes and tests in general, is that of all these types, there's a big range between how much time it takes to create, and then kind of a virality participation element. So just something to consider is, like, as you start doing this for your agencies, we recommend trying a wide range of content based on your marketing objectives. So like polls take literally about a minute. You just add an image, ask a question, kind of working your way up. You got lists, and rank lists are where you can upvote. So you could ask, Eileen, you could ask your clients, like, hey, of these 10 themes, which are your favorite? And the community upvotes, and the list reshuffles. And then you work your way up to quizzes and personality tests.
So all of these can be embedded into WordPress very easily.
Yes. We have a word.
No, you go.
Oh, sorry. We have a WordPress plugin. So it works really well. And then also you can just go to Riddle itself and then just embed the code on WordPress. You don't have to use our plugin. It's just kind of a shortcut.
Yep. I did the embed, and it could not have been easier. I mean, it really was copy and paste. So
we love to hear that.
Yeah.
But so essentially the actual process for creating a quiz is, so I had a little bit of a go creating a personality test.
Oh,
so a personality test is a really good product recommendation thing. So you mentioned, like, oh, what themes might be appropriate. And so what I did is I just created, I added a title. You can add some really cool description here. We support formatting and bullets and links. But with a personality test, what you do is you create the results. So I picked 3 of your themes. I picked the multiflex, the startup, and then the atelier child. Okay. And then what you do is you ask questions. So you say, okay, so you gave me these questions, which is really nice. You said, okay, are you looking for Divi or Elementor? And frankly, I don't really know what that is, but I just went with it. And then what you do is you just assign, you basically put the answers down, and you assign weighting to each result. So someone who's looking for Divi might be like, oh, I'm more of a multiflex. That might apply more to multiflex, where someone who's looking for Elementor might apply to startup and atelier.
Gotcha.
And you just do that. You do that for all the questions, and at the end, it basically adds points to each result. And at the end, you'll get a result saying, oh, based on our, all these questions, we think you're this. And that's pretty much it. You'll see that the quiz right now is pretty sparse because we haven't added images, and this is the fun part.
This is fun.
So, yeah, you can really geek out about this, and frankly, I do, because I make lots of these for our own blog. And So we have a lot of included image types that you can use. So first off, I mean, you can upload stuff.
Okay.
So if your client provides images, that's really easy. But the other thing is you can use Google. Pexels is really nice. They provide high quality, copyright-free images that don't look, what's great about them, they don't look cheesy. They don't look like bland stock.
Right. Right. We use Pexels a lot.
Photography. Yeah, they're amazing. Another really good one, which we're going to integrate soon, is called Pixabay, and they have a really huge catalog.
Right.
But yeah, so basically you add an image. We actually baked in a Photoshop Lite little tool. So this is a little tool called Aviary, which lets you just kind of basic cropping. Click the button. You can add some Instagram effects if you want to kind of make a little funky thing, just things like that. So the idea is that you don't have to get out of the tool to go to Photoshop. You can just do it, and again, you don't have to be a coder or a designer. You just have to get on with it. Cool. So, that's image one. For the personalities, I'll get more images. So we've got Giphy. So we always recommend adding at least 1 or 2 animated GIFs. Okay. And this has nothing to do with themes, but I like cats.
Okay.
Because animated GIFs, they have energy and they have humor. And so if you put them toward the end of the quiz, around question 5 or 6, it keeps people engaged.
Okay.
And it applies to your theme. So these cats, obviously don't apply, but you just click and you just
have them playing table tennis. I love that.
You can never go wrong with cats. I'll go through and quickly add the other one. So we've done GIFs. You can also insert YouTube clips. Okay. So if you have a product video, in this case, I'm just going to search YouTube for WordPress and see what comes up. I'll even do WordPress theme and just see what comes up. Okay, so let's say, I'm just going to say, I just grabbed this YouTube clip. You can also choose it to have it start playing at a certain time. So you're like, oh, I want the video start from, oops, I'm going to play it. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. Yeah. And then I'm going to click this. There we go. And so that should, next time, when we actually demo the quiz, it'll start showing it 4 minutes and 47 seconds. And then last, let's see what else we got going on here. So you can upload, especially if you have client stuff, or if you've done some work on your images off your own on computer, just upload them. We have some stock photography as well, just for like basic yes, no, just if you just want to, these are good for polls and stuff. The other thing is that if you guys have a lot of social images, you can just link directly to, this is going to be my Facebook account, and I don't think there's anything embarrassing in here. But that would be awkward. I think I have a slow connection here. And then the last one is, and this is actually one I highly recommend, it's Instagram. So the cool thing is that if you ever want to use, really cutting edge, especially celebrity type pictures, Instagram, as their terms of service, anyone using them, Instagram says, hey, you're actually giving us the right to use these images. And then they gave us the right because we have an API. They said, okay, through Instagram's API, you can use these images. So that means you guys can go on. I'm just going to log in. But basically, you just type in the username, Instagram / I'll just do mine, or the specific image code. So if you want like a Beyonce, whatever, just to kind of add a bit more contemporary, really cool stuff, you can do that. So these are my images, obviously not very contemporary and not very celebrity. And there you go. So you have an Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll demonstrate one more thing. So right now that's kind of our wide format, but you can change your entire quiz to be more of a square, or it could be tall. So if you have a lot of vertical products or books or fashion pictures, you just say, you know what, I want my quiz to be vertical.
That's cool.
So just lots and lots of options. So that's pretty much it. I mean, and I'll quickly add, I feel weird having an imageless quiz. So I'm just going to go through and quickly add more images. So I will go.
The quiz that I built, we didn't have images, but it was long. It was 17 questions. So that would have been, I don't know, I guess it would have been fun. I know my girls love quizzes. They do a lot on, BuzzFeed?
Yeah. They're amazing.
But this is amazing. This is great. Okay, the Star Wars, who doesn't love that?
Yeah, Star Wars and cats. I mean, your audience is going to get a clear sense of my personality. So, yes, I mean, that's basically it. So we've, in the last couple minutes, we've created a 3-question little quiz. We actually have a book coming out, a little ebook, which is going to cover best practices about how to do quizzes and segment and everything else. We'll be giving that away for free. So actually, you know what? I can probably just send that over to you guys, and you can distribute it to your audience. There's lots of best practices. So like, actually, I did look at your client's quiz, and I was like, ooh, 17 questions. You're going to lose people. 8 to 10 might be good, but sometimes if they're a really passionate audience, 17 is good. So you get to test it out.
Right. That's good to know.
Okay.
I didn't know sort of the sweet spot, so I can have a chat with him about that. If we don't get much engagement, we'll switch it up.
Yeah, and actually, I'll show you in the analyze step. We'll actually show you where you're dropping off.
Oh.
So the Bulls had a 20-question quiz that worked really well. You just never know. But you can see, like, when we show you our stats, if you're losing people like question 11, you're like, okay. And then you just, you can make some edits here. So like, I'll delete this question or delete this result. And then you don't even have to re-embed your quiz. It automatically updates.
I know that.
So you can kind of live op.
Right.
Yeah, so you live optimize on the fly. So yes, that's step 1. So we've created it. Now this is in terms of getting, kind of the direct marketing side. We have these options where you can just quickly build in a form. I'll get to this actually last, but we have direct integrations with Aweber or MailChimp, where you can directly host a form from Aweber or MailChimp and use it that way. If you're on one of our like higher end plans, you can also post in anything that's an iframe. So I'm going to go find something. I hope I didn't lose you, but I think the screen share should work. So can you see this screen, Eileen, with this says video? Okay, awesome. So this is a sporting blog called 12 Up. And what they wanted to do is they actually wanted to grow their social following. So this is our quiz. And a couple things to note is that notice it's matching this site. It uses their font. It even matches their CSS. That's some of the editing features on the tool, which is really cool. So it depends on how much you need to customize your platform. But basically, who's the biggest cheater in sports? And I'll be diplomatic.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go other just because, it seems to be the safe answer. But this is pretty cool. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to grow their social following. So instead of an email collection form, they actually created this landing page which says like us on Facebook. And, so I could if I click like on this, and then you move on and then you get your results.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's very flexible. So like, especially for, creative agencies, if you have someone saying, well, I want people to watch a movie trailer, or I want people to watch a promo about this product, or like us on Facebook, or anything that you can make into an iframe, you can host it here. It's really powerful and really flexible.
Okay. That's amazing.
That's one. That's a little on the higher end.
Yeah. Are the dev guys in Germany, or where are they?
Our dev team is all based in Western Germany.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and as Eileen mentioned, like, we're totally happy if you guys start to go down this road and start to use this product and go like, oh, hey, I'm making this iframe. We're always happy to help you tweak it to make sure it really works and looks perfect on your site.
Okay, awesome.
But this is the easiest one. So here's our lead gen form. So it's like, this is just the basic email collecting mechanism. So it's like, sign up for. And Eileen, I'm not sure if you are like this, but when I type and I know people are watching, I type much slower. Sign up for a free consultation. And then you can put in some sort of call to action. And then here are your fields. So you can ask for, first name, last name, email, budget, or, whatever. I'll just keep it at 3. We give you lots of options in terms of how you display the form. So some people want it to be mandatory. So we display this form between the last question and the results. So people are engaged, they're emotionally committed, they've answered all these questions, and then you get this lead form, and then they move on to the results. We generally recommend giving the option to skip it, because if you don't, people will just put in Mickey Mouse at mickeymouse.com just so they get the results. But if you're looking to kind of pad your stats a little bit as a creative agency in terms of emails delivered or whatever, it's an option. You can put terms and conditions. You can also, this is actually a cool feature as well. You can put in different little checkboxes saying, hey, I agree to be contacted by email. I agree to be contacted by, or I'm interested in an online consultation. I'm interested in, whatever. So that you can put up to 5 of these things. Actually, I'll do a quick one. So, yes, call me for a consultation. And again, you can see I'm making lots of typos because I'm online. Cool. So I'm not going to do a URL. I'm going to make this required, and there we go. So that's pretty much all there is for a lead gen side. So that form is not going to show up. We get to move into the fun customization side, which is pretty cool. This is the fun part, really. So writing the questions, that's all cool, but this is where you get to make it look really pretty. So first and foremost, so we put in different sections of how you can customize it. But the most important one we get often is, how do I take out this very lovely Riddle branding? Because a lot, if you're doing something for your client, you're saying, hey, well, either I want to hide it. So in this case, you just click no footer, or you can add your own logo. And this is on our professional and enterprise. So our very basic plan it's just for bloggers. It's $9 a month, but if you're more of a, have a bit more of a professional, requirement for this stuff, you can just add your logo here. So I'll choose my standard demo logo. So I think I have your logo, and you can see here my demo images in this folder. They're all cats because you can never go wrong with cats. Cool. And it can be clickable to a URL. So you'll see, so this is just showing what the logo is. This is how it looks. And the nice thing is, on this customization, it auto updates. So as you make a change, it changes. So I'm going to change the button color. I'm going to pick let's move you over a little bit. I'm going to pick a different blue. We make it orange. But you can be very brand specific, so it'll match the hex colors. I'll change the background slightly. I'm not a designer, so they never really look very good. But you have a lot of freedom here.
Yeah.
In terms of fonts, this is really cool. We actually have all these different fonts, which is fine. You can also, and this is on our enterprise plan, but you can also match Google Fonts, Adobe Typekit, everything else. And so you can entirely match your site's font. So basically, when this lives on your website, no one will come along and go, oh, what's this widget doing here? They'll say, oh, this is just a quiz that they happen to make on their site.
Right.
So I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to go I'll pick Lato. There we go. Especially if you're a savvy web designer, I'm not good at CSS, but you can customize anything. And I really should have had this up, but I'm going to go grab something real quick. You can change the look and feel of every visual element from button styles to borders to how many questions in a row. You can do lots and lots of stuff. Okay. So I'm just going to grab something I used this is for Manchester City when I was demonstrating it.
Okay.
There we go. So we'll find you again. There we go. So I got the CSS code. Basically you can just right click on anything, inspect the element, and paste it in there. But I pasted this in here, and now you'll see the look and feel has changed, where it has gotten rid of the pixel border. It added this border here. They wanted to break it up a little bit. The buttons are now not round. And this is just very basic. Like you can really go pretty much anything. You can have, like we've seen people take this title text and overlay it on their images. So you can change anything. So basically, if you're a CSS guru, have at it and have a lot of fun.
Great.
On the social side, we have, basically you can hide all your sharing buttons, or you can also then put in custom messages. So when someone finishes a quiz, like, hey, I just got Atelier as my recommended WordPress theme, you would basically say like, I got, and you put in your variable, but you could type whatever message you want to support your link, and then say, on this quiz link, and then whatever hashtags you're using. So, just whatever you need to do, it can vary by platform.
Oh, that's great.
So basically, and actually what's funny, Eileen, is we get lots of ideas from clients like you, are like, hey, wouldn't it be great if you guys did this? So we didn't even think about this, to be honest, but someone said, hey, I do different social campaigns, obviously. And we're like, oh, that's a good point. So we put these features in based on what people ask for.
Yeah.
We support lots of languages. So all these buttons and everything are hard-coded. You can just change your languages. You can put in a footer. There's lots of things. Basically, you can customize the heck out of it. But the last feature I thought you guys might be interested in is the call to action. So this shows up after so people have taken the questions. You may have a lead gen form or not. Then they get the results. In the result, there's a button which you then can say, hey, get 25% off, this book or this theme. And you can even have it connected to their results. So someone who gets Atelier, you say, hey, get 25% off on Atelier. Someone who gets a startup, get 25% on startup. So the user says, oh, wow, this is me. So what you do is you basically just, type in here, get 25% off. I'll have to go back in a sec. This is the global one. So this button will show up on all the results. I'll go here real quick. Actually, I'll finish this and I'll show you real quick.
Okay.
This is a new feature, so I get pretty geeked out about it. So I'm just going to put in Yahoo just because that's easier. But again, customizing, you can change the buttons and all that other stuff. I'm going to make it large, but not full width. We give you lots of options. I'm going to have it after the results. So someone reads like, okay, here's my quiz results. That's cool. And then I'm going to have it center aligned. But again, you can customize the CSS, whatever you need. And that's pretty much it. So we now have ourselves kind of a living, breathing personality test. Here it is. So question 1, are you looking for Divi or Elementor? I will say Elementor. I actually didn't fill in answers. That's why these are showing up blank.
That's okay.
I'm just going to click keep answering. And then here's the lead gen form. So it says, okay, sign up for free consultation. Here's that little checkbox. Yes, call me for a consultation. I'm actually going to skip it. And then you get your results. So it's saying, okay, here's that video, which you could have about the Atelier theme.
Right.
Here's the click to buy the 25%. Here's your share messages. And when it comes to publishing, you just go over to here, click publish, and you can preview it on this link. But what you recommend, and Eileen, you did this for your client, is you basically just grab this code. It can be any width, so you can make it 1200 pixels wide. You can make it, whatever. It's fully responsive, so it matches mobile, whatever device. 640 is kind of our standard. And you just grab the code, and you just paste this into, WordPress, your text editor or your website, and it works. We also have these other options just in case your website's a little funny. But please, you can always just give us a shout, and we're happy to kind of troubleshoot. Like, oh, your website's doing this. Just change this little bit of the code. Everything works.
Yeah. I had I can't even say how little trouble or a little effort. It was really just copy and paste. For me, I got stuck a little bit on the integration, and it was more me not understanding MailChimp. So thank you for your patience on that. But so this is really, really, I didn't actually know about all of these features. I certainly didn't know, I love the idea of here's your results and you can have a coupon or schedule an appointment. It's really sort of limitless as to what you can do.
Well, I think we get in trouble. One of our weaknesses is kind of a nice weakness, but it's still a weakness. We don't do a good enough job explaining all of our features because we just keep adding more and more stuff based on what you guys tell us. And we're like, oh, here's a good feature. Here's a good feature. But we are trying in our blog where we kind of do a lot of best cases, or you can follow us on Facebook where we say, hey, here's some best practices. But yeah, we need to do a better job on that because there's just so many ways you can do this where you're like, oh, that's really cool. They've told me this. I'm going to present them this.
Right. It's awesome. Well, I was also very focused on delivering the one thing that I did for my clients. So I didn't go leave my little path at all. But this is great. I can't believe how sort of thoughtful everything is. It's great. And I love, so how are your clients like? I don't know, maybe the Bulls are just doing it to provide some sort of fun, or Wimbledon, just engagement for their viewers. But are a lot of people taking advantage of the lead gen? How's that working for, what does Macy's use it for?
Actually, it's a good question. Macy's is actually an interesting one. They're actually not using it for external. They're using it for internal, kind of to motivate their employees.
Okay.
They use it kind of like an internal human resource, like, oh, test your knowledge on our our vacation plans. I've been in Europe too long. So they use it on the internal side. Our clients about half and half. So the BBC is all about just engagement. They want to, keep their community really, fired up. The Bulls actually, here's a good example. Got the Bulls up. So the Bulls just created this, this 5-question quiz, and they added a contest form. So when you have a lead gen form, one of the things we always advise is you always want to give an incentive why they should give their email address. So one of the worst is some people just say, oh, sign up to get my newsletter. And, people are like, well, that's not as much value for what I'm getting out. I'm giving you my email address. I want something a little more. So what they did is it took them, it didn't take very long for these guys. They created this 5-question quiz about the Bulls. And I'm really not a Bulls guy, but you'll see here, it's like, okay, here's their trivia question. Here's their answers. And when you get to the end, cool, I'm just going to blow through this really quickly, but they included a contest. And what they did was they said, well, we have an upcoming exhibition game of the U.S. Olympic team playing Venezuela. So here we go. This is the last question. So I'm going to click next. And we go here and it says, okay, this is, the lead gen form, like share your contact details. And, basically for a chance to win a pair of tickets, please give us your name and email, and we'll keep you posted on various things. Interesting thing is that they got a huge percentage. So normally we say if you get 10% of people to give, to fill in these lead forms, that's really good. Yeah. These guys, they got 34%, which is incredible.
That is incredible.
And
wow.
Yeah, and also it's not slimy. This is the part that I love about it. It's like by being just like, hey, these are the services I'm offering. If this is valuable to you, just give us your email address. And people are like, all right, I'm in. But again, there's always that skip button so people can leave.
Right. And
I'm sorry, Eileen.
No, I was just going to say that the form or the quiz that I created, we didn't want anybody to see the results to the end. So like right away on the one you're demonstrating, it said, right or wrong. And
right.
And so that was an option just if people are interested, our automation was to email the answer key after somebody had given us our email. So, that's an option too for people. I mean, it's very thoughtful. I think whatever your goals are, I think it's just a matter of figuring out, check yes or no, or on or off for the options.
Yeah, we give, actually, again, I think I have the best job in the world sometimes because essentially we get these great suggestions from our community and we're like, oh, that's a good idea. And then we talk to our developers and developers are like, that is a good idea. So yeah, like we didn't think about that. That was another one. We said, oh, so this is a personality test. It doesn't have right or wrong answers. But on the quiz, you can say, like, the one you did for your client, you basically say, do I want my correct answers instantly to keep people engaged, or after the lead gen form to give them an incentive to go all the way through and fill out the lead form. What you can do is also you have the options to show your answers at the very end in like one long report. Yeah. So that's kind of a cool. There's just loads and loads of options. I could geek out about this for a long time. One thing I forgot to go into, so Riddle is a quiz platform, but it's also a lead generation tool. And what we built it to do is you can get quizzes. So you create a quiz, you add a lead form, and then you segment the users based on their responses and automatically sync it to your marketing software. So if you're using like Marketo or, Active Campaign or Constant Content, whatever software you're using, what you can do is you go into our integration tab and just go into this use Zapier, and we can totally help you out with this. There's a blog post right here which tells you exactly how to do it. But basically what you do is as a user fills in the lead form, you basically tag them. You tag that user with their end results. So let's say for your quiz, Eileen, user A got Atelier as a theme. I'm going to send them out a follow-up message based on Atelier. So you're like, hey, user A, you could personalize it based on the responses.
Right.
So instead of just one message going out to everyone who takes the quiz, you say, no, I'm going to tag it and personalize it and follow up that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. I know I'm taking up a lot of your morning. Will you just show the analytics? Just, I don't know if it's anything in here, just so people can know that you're getting data from this.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our quiz. It's not particularly exciting because there's no one actually took it. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to grab the Bulls one. And I always get this question. So the Bulls let me use this as an example. So they're okay with me sharing this data. But this is their quiz. So, and essentially we try and do like kind of like Goldilocks level of detail. We're not too much, not too little. But basically we want to make sure you understand what's working and what's not. So here is their Olympic basketball quiz. They had about 25,000 people land on the web page with the quiz. Okay. And of that, 18,000 started.
That seems like
that's really good.
Yeah, that's
very good.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, 20% would be amazing. So these guys, they're crushing it. And they obviously have a very passionate fan base, so that could be something. But so essentially, okay, you got these 18,000, they started. Then how many finished? And this is the statistic which you should watch out for in terms of optimizing. So like, Eileen, with your client, you can keep an eye on this. And if this number falls below 70%, you can go down to this drop-off-ometer, which I'm not sure is a word, but you basically just...
I get it. I'm with you.
It should be a word. But yeah, you go here and you say like, where are people dropping off? Is it question 4, 5, 10? You just know, is there a certain point where a question is just not engaging them? It tracks your shares. This dashboard is going to be improved in about 2 or 3 weeks, we hope, where it'll go in a lot more granular. It'll include time on site. It'll break it down by social channel. So I got this many, Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, Twitter. And then also here, you'll see this is how many leads. So this lead ratio, 3.5 out of 13,000 completes is awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and then this is kind of cool too for agency types. So you can see a breakdown. This is the result. You can also go question by question. Are any particular question too difficult and all that? But if you get to the bottom, you can download leads first off. You can always make that into an Excel file. But you can do this. You can click download and get a PDF report. If you just need if you have a client that says, hey, what have you done for me lately? And you can just send them, here you go. Yeah. So you don't have to go in and copy paste stats, put into a PowerPoint, make a PDF, all that kind of time consuming stuff that agencies have to do.
Right.
And then
I love it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. And then I guess one last thing I was thinking just in terms of potential clients is like, if you go and click on, we have a team function where if you have an agency, what you can do is, basically we have 3 plans. We got the basic, we have pro. These are individual accounts. So basically one person at your company or team can be logged in at a time. But if you've got a larger team, you can go with our enterprise option, which has teams. And teams are great because you can do this for your different clients as well. So you can actually set up little teams for each of your clients and invite individual clients to that team, but they will never be able to see the other stuff.
Right.
But you can then just say, hey, here's a draft. How about we edit that quiz together? All that stuff is it's a team environment. But at the same time, you can, you still have that overarching umbrella. So you can kind of look at everything. Clients can look at only specific stuff.
Yeah. One login.
Yeah. But the enterprise is, unlimited logins. So.
Yeah. Or I meant, like you can log in one time and with your one password and see everything.
Oh, right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's great.
Cool.
Okay, well, I think that you've given us a really good overview. Is there anything I forgot to ask?
No. I feel like I might have been, I'm using a Britishism. I might have been blathering on too long. I get really excited about this. But, any questions? If I haven't covered something, just give us a shout at riddle.com. I'll actually show you our handy dandy. So if you go into, I'm going to log out real quick. So if you go into Riddle, you don't have to log in or actually create a website. But down here is this little support chat.
Yeah. And
you can pop up. And some of our team are on holiday right now. But basically, I would respond, hopefully within a couple minutes. You can just say, hey, I have a question about, whatever. And we'll respond.
And yeah, you guys are amazing, and your website is pretty. And like I said, it's very, very, very user friendly, and it just takes you through, step by step by step. And for what I'm doing for my client, I think he's on the $9 a month plan, and we have everything that we could possibly need is included. Sometimes you get in there and then you think, oh gosh, now I have to upgrade, or doesn't really have what I need. So, and we started out with the free, and with every intention of buying. We just kind of wanted to test it out because I had tested out so many duds. And 14 days is plenty enough time for us to know this is exactly what we need. So it was
awesome.
It was great.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, I really appreciate your time and you giving us the, I like to call it the docent tour, where you walk us through everything. Awesome. So people can find you guys at riddle.com and, follow along on your blog and your social media, and start engaging with their clients, with their audience.
Perfect. And if people have any questions, or you say, hey, Mike, can you jump on a quick demo? As you can tell, I love talking about this stuff. So just give us a shout, and we're happy to help.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, you guys. And thank you very much, Eileen, for your time and kind words. I'm still kind of blushing. So.
All true.